Okay, let's explain the detail tab of the light. As you can see, we have a main fall off and the clipping. I explained them in separate lessons. Now I just want to talk detail part. As you can see, it turned off because it's very different in any lights. For example, first thing is the Omni. In the Omni, you can just create contrast. If you turn it on, as you can see, we have a more contrast of the light. You can see it. As you can see, the contrast between the darker and lighter part are 0, but if you increase it, as you can see, we have more contrast of the light. Shadow, these are off because we need to spotlight because we have an edge. Shadow caster means if you want to your source just create a shadow, not create a light. And as you can see, just create a shadow for you. But for this, we need another light. As you can see, this light, for this light, we want to just shadow caster. And as you can see, the effect of this light is turn off because this light is just cast as a shadow. It means it just produced a shadow. It does not calculate in lighting. The light of the scene is from this light. So if you want to do something like this, you can just tell this light create a shadow. And as you can see, if you turn it off, it calculates in lighting. Nice. If you go to the general and in a spotlight, now we can go in here. Nice. This is an fall off handle. Then you go to the delete. As you can see, all of this will turn on. Okay, let's talk about them. Inner radius. And as you can see, we have a smooth edge from center to the edge of the border of the spotlight because of use inner angle here. And as you can see, you can change the angle of this. This is an inner angle. You can this is not fall off. It's actually we have a different fall off. It's smoothing the edge of your spotlight. As you can see, from this line to the edge, we have a small fall off that we can create it in an outer and the inner angle. As you can see, we have a full circle. If you don't want to keep aspect ratio, you can change it in any direction that you want. And of course, contrast again. And if we go into area light like this, we have a different setting here. They are the same, but we have a shape. If you go to the visibility or general, as you can see, the visibility light is turned off because we have a setting in a detail that if you want, you can render it in showing render here if you want to see that. Okay, the area shape is rectangle. You can change it to the disk. If you render, as you can see, you cannot see the render. But if you want to show in the render, you can see it if you tick that. And as you can see, you can see it in the, this is a disk. This is the shape of your area like this, rectangle, line. If you create a line and then go to the general, and as you can see, in this way the visibility turn on and you can make it visible. And as you can see, the handle of the visibility is here. In a detail, no, sorry, in a visibility, you can change the outer distance like this, and then hit the render. And in this case, you can create just a neon lamp, neon, or such this effect with this method. Nice. Just for line shape, you can set visibilities. We have a sphere shape, and you can change the size X and Y and Z here. Cylinder, cube, hemisphere, and another interesting thing is you can turn the spline or another object. The falloff angle is just for rectangle. The falloff angle is just for rectangle. Look at the falloff angle. This is 118. It means if you render, and as you can see, the light source is from here to here. But you can make it 90-degree and render it. And as you can see, we change the angle of the lights like a spot. You can see it. This is an falloff angle that you can change it. The sample is very simple. The higher number, we have more quality of the light, but be careful about the render time. Another example for sample is this image. As you can see, we have an object that you can see the source. It's like a rectangle source in its. As you can see, if the sample or a lower number, as you can see, you cannot see the rectangle very nice. But if the sample is a higher number, you can clearly see the rectangle source. This is another usage of the sample. If you want more quality, you can add grain, but it is slow down your render. Be careful about that. And you can, as you can see, if you want, you can show it as a solid in a viewport. You better seeing that if you want. Just in a viewport, it does not change it in a, for example, if you don't show it to the render, if you render it, as you can see, it's just for changing in a viewport. If you want to show it in a specular, you can do it. As you can see, render it here. We have an object, our source in a specular, but you can turn it off if you want. And you can see it. As you can see, you can see it in a viewport clearly. Showing a reflection. If we create another material here, for example, and double click, reflectance, add X, nice, and we render it. As you can see the effect of the light in the reflection. It's better seeing that. Hopefully you see that. I think you can see it better. It's very hard to see that in a reflection, but it has an effect. You can show in reflection. You can see the better seeing that. It's better to reinsert sphere here. Material. Render it. Now you can see our source in a reflection. But if you don't want, you can show it in reflection if you want. You can turn it on or off to see in the reflection. But it's always in the reflection. And visibility multiplier, if you want to see it more clearly, you can turn it on or off, this number here. Another interesting part is that you can create your light as another source. For example, we insert our light. It's here. In a detail, you have to change your light first in area light, and then go to the detail, and you can change the shape of area light objects. And now you can click and drag object here, but it does not allow you because you have to click and drag an ineditable object. You can define any object as a source, a light source, going to the area light, and now you can click and drag your sphere here. And you cannot see anything in a viewport, but if you render, as you can see, our source now is this sphere. That you can show it in a render if you want. And as you can see, this is our source for render. That you can increase or decrease the number of the polygons that you want. But in this case, you can define it. So you have to be in an area light. Your object has to be editable, and then click and drag it here, or use this eyedropper to pick objects. And all of its things here. Showing the reflection, of course. Okay, this is a details tab. Hello, my friends. To continue these tutorials on YouTube, subscribe us, like us, and hit the bell icon. And now you will be alerted about all of the amazing videos that we release.